The day the earth burned, the last 24 hours of Pompeii, intro, the ghosts of the past, Heroes 130, music, somber, wind howling, fading into a lively ancient marketplace sound. If you walk through the streets of Pompeii today, the silence is heavy. It is a silence that screams. You walk on cobblestones worn smooth by the feet of people who have been dead for 2,000 years. You see the fast food counters where they bought their lunch. You see the graffiti on the walls, political slogans, lovers' messages, crude jokes. It feels disturbingly familiar. But to understand their death, we must first understand their life. We must go back. Rewind the clock. Rewind 2,000 years. It is the morning of August 24th, 79 AD. The sun rises over the Bay of Naples. The water is sparkling blue. The city of Pompeii is waking up. It is a wealthy city, a resort town for the Roman elite. The air smells of baking bread, salty sea, and perfume. Meet Marcus. He is opening his bakery, the smell of fresh sourdough filling the street. Meet Julia. She is a noble woman currently scolding her slave for arranging her hair incorrectly. Meet Celadus. He is a gladiator, the hero of the local arena, hearing the chants of his name in his head. They have hopes, they have debts, they have secret affairs. They are planning for tomorrow, for next week, for next year. They do not know that they are living in the final hours of history. They do not know that the mountain looming over them, the green, peaceful mountain where they grow their famous wine grapes, is not a mountain at all. It is a monster, and it is waking up. Chapter 1, The Warnings Ignored, Iro 130, Iro 4, Yoj. Music, low rumbling bass, tension building slowly. The earth had been trying to warn them. For days the ground had been trembling. Wells had dried up mysteriously. Animals were acting strange, dogs barking at nothing, birds abandoning their nests. But the Romans were practical people. They were used to tremors. They lived in a region of fire and sulfur. They had no word in Latin for volcano. To them, Vesuvius was just a sleeping giant, a backdrop for their luxury villas. If they had known what was happening 5 kilometers beneath their feet, they would have fled screaming. Magma, boiling at 1,000 degrees Celsius, was rising. A plug of hard rock had blocked the volcano's throat for centuries, building up pressure. Like a shaken bottle of champagne, the gas was looking for a way out. The pressure was immense. It was the energy of 1,000 nuclear bombs waiting for the seal to break. It is noon. The sun is high, the heat is oppressive. Suddenly the birds stop singing. A strange silence falls over the city. And then the world ends. Chapter 2, The Explosion. Yoprush PM. Edroforo, Bisavenajou, music. Sudden, deafening explosion sound followed by chaotic, fast-paced orchestral music. At roughly 1 p.m., the plug breaks. The sound is not just a noise, it is a physical blow, a sonic boom that shatters eardrums miles away. The top of Mount Vesuvius is pulverized. A column of ash, rock, and gas shoots 30 kilometers into the stratosphere. It happens so fast that within minutes the sun is blotted out. Pliny the Younger, a 17-year-old boy watching from Misenum across the bay, writes the only eyewitness account we have. He describes the cloud as a pine tree, a tall trunk of smoke spreading out into branches. But inside Pompeii, it isn't poetic, it is hell. Stones begin to fall, not soft ash, but pumice, light, porous rocks. At first it seems annoying, then it becomes deadly. The stones fall at 200 kilometers per hour. They break roof tiles. They knock people unconscious. Panic ensues. The people face a terrible choice. Stay indoors and pray the roof doesn't collapse under the weight of the rocks, or run outside into the pitch-black darkness, dodging the falling stones. Imagine the chaos. Slaves carrying lanterns in the middle of the day. Mothers screaming for their children in the gloom. The air is becoming thick, hard to breathe. It smells of rotten eggs, sulfur. But this was only the beginning. Chapter 3, The Heroism of Pliny the Elder, Zavini 10, music, heroic, rhythmic, like a war march. While Pompey was screaming across the bay, a man made a fateful decision. Pliny the Elder, the commander of the Roman fleet and the most famous naturalist of his time, saw the cloud. Most people were fleeing away from the mountain. Pliny did the opposite. He ordered his warships to launch. He was going into the darkness. His mission was twofold: scientific curiosity and a desperate rescue mission. He received a message from a friend trapped at the foot of the mountain. "Fortune favors the bold," he famously said. As his ships approached the coast near Pompeii, the ash was falling on the decks, hot, black, and heavy. The water was shallow, churned up by the violent earthquakes. He couldn't land. He was forced to sail to Stabiae, further south. He found his friends terrified. He tried to calm them. He took a bath. He ate dinner. He pretended to sleep to stop them from panicking. But outside, the courtyard was filling with ash. The door was almost blocked. Pliny would never leave that shore alive. He collapsed the next morning, suffocated by the toxic fumes, a hero who tried to fight nature and lost. Chapter 4. The Night of Terror, 1330. Music, eerie, quiet, terrifying, minimal soundscape. Back in Pompeii, night has fallen, but you can't tell the difference between day and night anymore. It is absolute, suffocating darkness broken only by flashes of volcanic lightning, static electricity generated by the friction of the ash particles. By now, meters of pumice have buried the streets. Doors are blocked. Those who stayed in their homes are now prisoners. They are trapping themselves in their own tombs. The noise is unbearable. The mountain is roaring like a beast. The roofs are groaning under the weight of the rocks. Every few minutes, a roof collapses, crushing whole families huddled beneath. Those who try to escape now are walking on top of the debris, meters above the street level. They tie pillows to their heads with cloth to protect themselves from the falling rocks. They are walking toward the sea, hoping for rescue. But there is no rescue. The sea is wild, the wind is blowing against them. They are trapped between the devil and the deep blue sea. And then the volcano changes its tactic. Chapter 5, the Pyroclastic Surge. The end, 1330-17. Music intense, building to a crescendo, then sudden silence. Morning comes, but there is no sun. The column of smoke that had been standing for 18 hours suddenly loses its momentum. It collapses. This is the moment of death. Gravity takes over. The cloud of superheated gas, ash, and rock, heavier than air, cascades down the mountain. This is called a pyroclastic surge. It moves at 100 miles per hour. It is 300 degrees Celsius. It hits Herculaneum first, a nearby town. There, the heat is so intense, 500 degrees, that it vaporizes flesh instantly. Brains boil and explode skulls. It is a mercifully quick death. But in Pompeii, the surge hits with a different kind of horror. It arrives at the city walls. It punches through windows. It flows into basements. It is a hurricane of fire. Those who were running fell instantly. Those who were hiding breathed in the fire. The first breath burns the windpipe. The second breath turns the lungs to cement. It is over in seconds. The baker, the noblewoman, the slave, the gladiator, all extinguished. The noise stops. The movement stops. Pompeii is buried under 6 meters of ash. The city is erased from the map. Chapter 6, the Resurrection. 17 heures, 20 coups. Music, sad, melancholic, slow piano. Centuries pass. The Roman Empire falls, the Middle Ages come and go, the name Pompeii becomes a myth, a legend of a lost city. Grass grows over the graves, vineyards are planted on top of the roofs. It isn't until 1748 that explorers start digging. They find walls, they find frescoes, the colors as bright as the day they were painted, protected from the sun by the ash. But they find something else, hollow spaces in the hardened ash. Archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli realizes these aren't just holes. They are negatives of the bodies. The flesh had decayed, but the shape remained. He pours liquid plaster into the holes. He waits for it to dry. He chips away the ash, and the dead return to us. This is the most haunting part of Pompeii. We don't see skeletons, we see people. We see the clothes they wore. We see the expressions on their faces. We see the garden of the fugitives. 13 people trying to flee, frozen in their last moment of agony. We see a man raising his hands to shield his face from the heat. We see a dog twisted in its chain, writhing in pain. We see 2 figures known as the 2 maidens, though DNA now suggests they might be men, holding each other in a final embrace. They capture the ultimate human tragedy, the realization that death is inevitable. Outro, Memento Mori, 20 Dacho, 22 Maucho. Music, uplifting but solemn orchestral finale. Why does Pompeii fascinate us? Why do millions of people flock to see these stone corpses every year? Because Pompeii is a mirror. It reminds us of our own fragility. The people of Pompeii were just like us. They complained about the weather. They worried about money. They loved. They hated. They thought they had time. They thought they had tomorrow. Vesuvius is still there. It is still active. 3 million people live in its shadow today in the city of Naples. The scientists say it will erupt again. It is not a matter of if, but when. The story of Pompeii is a warning across time. It tells us that civilization is fragile, that nature is the true master of this planet, and it whispers a simple lesson. Live today, for tomorrow is promised to no one.